We are currently 7.5 weeks out from my first ever bodybuilding show, which is starting to hit me a little bit, to be honest with you. Over the past like few days, I've been getting like really nervous about it, because I think when you're like 20 weeks out and like 15 weeks out, it seems like so far away. But now that we're in single digits and the single digits are going by like this, I'm starting to not necessarily like freak out, but I am getting like nervous surrounding it. Just the idea of like show day, making sure everything's ready, and you know when you get those like nervous jitters, that's sort of where I'm at the moment. Anyway, today is a rest day for me, which I don't mind. I feel like my body needs, but my mind is like, let's go train. And I have woken up with a new low of 52.6 kilos, and I've also woken up so hungry. I have been hungry all night, been waking up in and out, which is weird because I've actually not experienced much hunger throughout this entire prep. Like, don't get me wrong, I've been hungry here and there, but it's not been like hunger pains or like belly rumbling. But today, I think it's caught up with me, because I was, first of all, in and out still with Diesel. If you watch my last vlog, the dogs are just like on a mad one in the night. They're absolutely fine throughout the day, no issues throughout the day, and then come the night, they just decide to have violent diarrhea. So I was up, I think, 4 times with Diesel, 5 times if you count the fact that I got into bed, started falling asleep, and he wanted to go up there. So 5 times in total, I guess. And then on top of that, I was just like waking up and I was just feeling hungry, and I was like, when is my next meal? So it's currently 7:33. I've been up since 4:15, and I'm about to make my first meal. Key tip for you if you are dieting and if you are hungry is, first of all, I would push back the first meal a little bit if you can, obviously depending on what you do for work. The reason for that is because then you have shorter windows between each of the meals. Second of all, keep yourself busy, keep yourself going, keep yourself occupied. You know, when I am very busy with work, I forget about eating. That's probably why I've not really experienced hunger, because I've been so busy with work recently. Today, I've already done all of my check-ins. I actually did some of my Thursday check-ins last night because the girl sent them in early, which also means that my usual work block has shortened a little bit. But I told myself today, and as I said in my previous vlog, I am going to make more of an active effort of dating myself, which I know sounds really cringe to some, I don't fucking care. I'm gonna take myself out today, and I'm gonna go into Alicante. I'm either gonna go shopping centre or Alicante town centre, yet to decide. I was going to go to a spa, to like a sauna, ice bath kind of vibe, but I don't have a bikini that fits me anymore, and I do not want to flash my bottom in the spa, which is sort of what happened last time when I was with George. I came out of the swimming pool, my bottoms were like coming off. I was like, yeah, it's not happening, especially when I'm alone. So I need to go into Alicante, potentially get a bikini, so next rest day I can go there for a little bit of R&R, because my body is feeling it at the moment and I just need it to just chill out a little bit. Either shopping centre, which is a little bit further like north of Alicante, or going into Alicante to do some shopping, because I need a bikini and I also need new shoes. I own 2 pairs of shoes. That is it. I own my Vans and I own my Air Force, my white Air Force, and both of them are absolutely battered, and I'm kind of embarrassed to walk in them now. And I don't know why I've got this like mental attachment to shoes, especially ones that I train, because I'm like, I've got so many PBs in it, and if I train, I might actually regress on my training, which is so stupid, but that's just my head all over. We're gonna go to Alicante together, but right now I'm gonna have my first meal because I'm absolutely starving. First meal, still the same as always, and my belly's rumbling a little bit. 1 egg, 100 mils of egg whites, mushrooms, and spinach. Voila. Simple. The day is honestly flying by. It's currently 11 and I'm literally just sitting down for my meal too, which isn't great. The old Vix in 2022 would have freaked out over this because I needed to be so particular with my meal timings, but 2026 Vix is just completely different. She is zen, she's at peace, she's fine. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I have 4 protein fat meals, so it's not like I'm gonna struggle to get those meals in. I am pretty hungry today, so maybe actually pushing them back a little bit will do me a world of good tonight when I sleep. So I've just been out with the dogs for a walk. We did around 8,000 steps, which is typically what I like to do, or like 12, so that that way I can chill out for the rest of the day, or at least in the evening. Obviously I still take them out, but my step goal at the moment is 15K, and if I left that up until later, I would have just been like powering through a walk. So I get most of my steps done early on, also taking into account that I'm going shopping today, so I'll rack up some steps there. And I mainly have just done work. Honestly, I don't know what people are on about. They're like, prep brain, prep brain. I am just in like prep productivity mode. When I'm eating less, I feel like my body's more alert and I feel like less sluggish, if anything. So it's serving me so amazing when it comes to a business expansion. So I did obviously all my check-ins in the morning. I've done a few check-ins for tomorrow already because girls sent them in early. I've done a program and I've also done my social media plan for the week. Who is she? Productivity queen. So right now, sitting down for meal 2, I've currently got a salad, chicken, some mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms in this chicken salad to make me feel like I've got more chicken, and they don't have that many calories. So I add them in with baby leaf salad, iceberg lettuce salad with some gherkins, 3 baby tomatoes, and drizzled with soy sauce, 15 calorie Hellmann's mayo, but I don't have the full 15 calories. I probably have around 5, and then just a drizzle of the reduced sugar sweet chili sauce, which is my favorite. I have just been obsessed with spice this prep, which is so unlike me because I usually hate spice, but I don't know. Taste buds clearly have changed. I'm gonna eat this and watch my current obsession. Well, it's not even current. I've actually been obsessed with this for a while, but true crime. Honestly, I think I've seen every single case under the planet repeated twice by or even 3 times by different YouTubers. Favorite YouTubers at the moment are Danielle Christie, I think that's how you say her name, Bailey Sarian, love her, and also Eleanor Neal. And I actually started following Eleanor Neal when she was like on 2K subscribers, and now she's got millions, which is absolutely crazy. I would consider myself an OG. But yeah, currently watching all of this because I just feel like it allows me to actually switch my brain off from anything else, and it allows me to be in a parasympathetic state ready for my meal, because I work from home, and if I eat at my desk and if I eat at my computer, my stress levels are just up, and if I don't switch off, again, I just feel really bloated. So I've done this thing where I've just removed myself from my work environment. Usually I'll just sit outside. Obviously it's sunny out here, so making the most of it, getting some vitamin D and some rays of sunshine. But yeah, just take myself outside of a work environment. And that's a little bit of a tip for anyone that's actually working from home, or even if you work at work. Okay, prep brain hit then. If you obviously have a 9 to 5, if you have shift work, just try and eliminate yourself from the place where your brain is most stimulated. So say for example, if I was in hospital, I'd always go to the cafeteria to sit down and eat, or go into the nurse's office where they usually have a little kitchen, etc. Just because it allows your brain to think, okay, right now this is my main focus. And I know it sounds really silly, and I know it sounds like 1%, but it really does matter. Very often when I have clients check in and they're telling me they're bloated after their meals, rather than addressing actually straight off the bat the food sources, if it's just suddenly that's something that's happened over the space of a week, I always assess stress levels and their eating environment. Believe me, if you just take yourself away from any sympathetic stimuli, so any stimuli that's making you feel a little bit anxious or on edge, your digestion and how you tolerate food is going to be so much better. So I'm going to get a little bit of a sunbathe session and also watch my true crime, and then we're going shopping. A little bit of a change in plans. We are no longer going shopping, so I will be wearing the same 2 pairs of shoes for the entirety of my existence by the looks of things. Basically, I got in the car and I checked how long it takes to get to the shopping mall, and it was 50 minutes in traffic. For reference, it's 20 past 2, so I assume it's sort of starting to get rush houry, and the mall is north of Alicante, so I need to bypass all of Alicante, and 1, I just cannot be bothered for that, and 2, I also just do not have time for that. I've got too much work to do, and there's still a few bits that I want to do before tomorrow. So instead, what we are going to do is we're going to drive to the gym, to Titan Fitness, so that I can do a little bit of posing practice, because I will not lie to you, I have been absolutely shit with my posing practice recently. Since George has been gone, I've just been so busy trying to get everything sorted. Usually the things that he'd help me out with would give me a little bit of free time, but I just don't, free time just does not exist anymore. I have been massively slacking on it, and I literally had to have a word with myself today, because I can work on my physique all I want. If I can't present it well on stage, I'm not gonna look good. And the one thing that I said to myself that is within my control that I could still improve obviously condition is one, but the other thing that I can still improve in this current season with where I'm currently at is my presentation and how I look on stage and how I pose and how confident I am. And that comes through practice. Like I can't expect myself to wake up one day and just like have the flow. Even though I'm not a terrible poser, there's still so many things that I know I need to improve on to create like symmetry within my physique, to create the balance, make sure I'm showcasing the physique as well to the best of my ability. That's the word I'm trying to say. So yeah, I need to get on top of it. And if I don't actually program a time to do it, I just won't do it. So if you are a competitor, especially if you are on prep, make sure that you have a time allocated to pose every single week. Otherwise, what's going to happen is either you're going to half-ass it and do like after session and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. Like I'll do some posing after a session, but I won't put my heels on and I won't put effort in. It's just more so, have I got a pump? How does my physique look? Rather than actually practicing the flow and the presentation of posing. So yeah, just make sure you've got something at least programmed, whether it's posing sessions with a posing coach. Shout out Hannah, my posing coach, who I do have posing sessions with, but I don't have one booked at the moment. And also to just allocate the time, very much like you allocate time to do your meal prep, to brush your teeth, to go train. Posing is also like the pivotal part of bodybuilding, right? Like that's ultimately what you're showcasing. It's a show at the end of the day. So we're going to be heading to the gym and I'm going to be doing some bikini and also wellness poses because of course we're still deliberating which category I fit in best to, and I'm still like ping-ponging back and forth with the idea of which kind of category to do. I know I don't need to decide just yet, but I'm like, I just want to know where I fit. Regardless, I know I'm doing wellness, so wellness needs to be practiced, but bikini, yeah, I'm just in two minds about it because I've been like speaking to a few people surrounding it. Some people are like, oh my God, you fit into it so amazingly. And by the way, when I say people, it's people that I trust. It's like high level coaches, people that I know aren't going to be blowing smoke up my ass, because I don't need people to tell me I look great. I need people to be constructively critical of me. That's how I work. Like that's just who I am, right? So some coaches are like, yeah, you look amazing. And then people that see me in person, I've even spoken to an IFBB pro wellness girl in the gym. She was just like, I just don't know if you will fit into an amateur lineup. Now, don't get me wrong, pro bikini, like the muscle that those girls have is just outstanding, and also the glute size that they have is just like, glutes are in a different postcode. But amateur lineups, they typically do consist of girls who it's not that they don't have as much muscle, because you still need a lot of muscle to be in bikini, but they are definitely like much more petite than me structurally. So like smaller ribs, smaller waist, definitely smaller legs and like smaller quads. So yeah, I guess it just all depends on the lineup on the day. If the majority of the girls are like smaller girls, I literally shat myself then. But yeah, if the majority of the girls are just like more smaller petite girls and they're looking for more of like a I don't even know what the phrase is, just more of a smaller look, then I'm just gonna look out of place. But at least I know. So God, everything's stressing me out right now. I'm already getting stressed driving on the right side of the road still, even though I've lived here for 3 months. Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought. We're going to practice bikini and wellness poses. So I need to basically call myself out on my bullshit and start posing. Otherwise, I'm literally going to look like a deer in the headlights, and that is not something that I am allowing for myself. I genuinely want to step up on that stage, on that first time as PCA stage, and I don't want to look like a first timer. I want to look like a seasoned athlete. That is my goal, and therefore I need to practice. So in terms of posing heels, I'm actually going to be wearing different heels for my bikini and then also my wellness posing. The reason for that is because the heels massively change your physique. Now, I'm not saying that if you're doing 2 categories, you necessarily need 2 different pairs of heels. It's just for me and my physique, I do think that's what's required, because with the Majesties, which is the ones that I showed a few videos ago, they're actually much higher. They're much higher heel, and they also have a platform which make my legs look longer, and as a result, they make my legs look slimmer. So it allows me to have more of like a streamlined physique from top to bottom. So these are the shoes that I'm gonna be using for my bikini poses. And then for my wellness poses, I'm gonna be using literally my most favorite shoes ever, which are the Elegant 508s, I believe, 408s, Elegant 408s. So these are the ones that have got the gemstones on them. They are a much flatter sole, so the heel is smaller, but this is still a 1-inch platform, which makes you feel like you're walking a little bit more on flat feet in comparison to these shoes. So if I put them side by side, you can sort of see the difference. There's more of an incline on these ones in comparison to these ones. Because these are shorter, they make me look more compact, and therefore they make me look like I've got more muscle in my lower body, whereas these ones make my legs look slightly longer. Obviously, depending on which division you're in, there's going to be different criteria, right? And you need to play with the criteria. And I was actually listening to a really good podcast with Phoebe Hagen and Amy, both of which competed at the Arnold's US, and I think it was literally released today. But they were talking about the best look for you, like how you find the best look for you in terms of bikini, bikini cut, bikini color, hair, heels. And if you haven't listened to it, I would highly recommend you do, because they do talk about kind of playing with what you feel confident in, but also what the judges want and finding that balance. So for me, I know I can walk in these if I practice. These are my preferred ones, but also I know when I pose in these, I don't look as good in a bikini posing structure. That didn't make any sense at all. I don't look as good in my bikini poses in comparison to if I wear these. So I just know in order to play with the criteria and look a little bit better in that lineup, I'm gonna need these. So the way that I do my practice posing is, first and foremost, obviously I put my heels on. If you don't pose in heels and you are planning to compete, make sure you start posing in heels ASAP, because posing in heels, one, it's much harder, but two, like I said, it also changes your physique. So what you don't wanna be doing is practicing getting into poses, readjusting your body, creating habits, and then that actually not being favorable when you put the heels on. So throw on your heels, and before you even get into your poses, just get used to walking in heels. Like, you don't need to do anything fancy. You don't need to think about your stage walk just yet, but put them on and just start walking literally all over the posing room, or walk around your house, wherever you may be posing, and then go into your poses. If you are a beginner and you haven't posed before, you've not done it ever before, don't overcomplicate it. Don't focus on perfecting your stage walk. Don't focus on your transitions. Literally just get into the poses and practice your quarter turns, or your two poses if you just do like NPC bikini. I see so many people getting their head over like how to transition from the front pose to the side pose, and then they start doubting themselves. But all that you just need to do is lay out the foundation. So get comfortable posing maybe without heels. Then as soon as you just know the rough basics of what each pose looks like, then put on heels, just hit the quarter turns. And then after that, that's where you can worry about transition. And then the last step is actually just getting into your eye walks, and then getting into your stage walks, and kind of getting into your poses and quarter turning from there. And then literally the cherry on top of the cake is going to be the stage presentation. So when you transition, how do you gaze at the judges? How do you smile? Where do you put your hand? Make sure your hand, like eye gaze follows your hands, and make it look sexy. Literally start from bottom and work your way up, because if you try and perfect everything, aka if you're like me and you are a perfectionist, you're gonna get really overwhelmed really quickly, and it's not gonna be enjoyable. Throw on some music. First, practice without heels, like if you're genuinely a beginner. Then make sure you practice with heels every single time. Do your quarter turns, then you learn your transitions, then go onto your eye walk, and then after that, that's where you can piece everything together and start making things sexy and snazzy. I am running extremely flat at the moment, but I am starting to see some glute striations on my glute ham tine, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, happy, 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 happy. Whoa, fell there, see? Just carry on. No, I'm not gonna carry on, I'm gonna do it again.
Young Nature, is that you?
so small. I feel so small. Getting really in my head about things, to be honest with you. I feel like as I'm leaning out, and also as I know I'm looking flatter, I just realize how much more size I've got to put on. But I need to remember, this is my first season. I am exactly where I need to be. I need to stop expecting too much of myself while still simultaneously aiming for the heights and continuing moving forwards. Because the thing is, when you're in a competition prep, you will get in your head about how you look. Like, that is just a part of bodybuilding, especially because people are on all different chapters of their bodybuilding journey and you're comparing yourself to pros, etc., etc. But it's just important to, rather than focusing on everyone else around you, just fine-tuning into yourself and asking yourself, am I better than I was yesterday? And that's what I'm gonna say to myself today. Am I better than I was yesterday? Am I giving my absolute all? If the answer is yes, that is all that's within my control. So I'm gonna not overthink everything too much in this posing practice session, because I'm gonna get in my head about it. And I also know I'm 7.5 weeks out. I am not meant to be at my peak in terms of my physique right now. I'm just meant to be running flat and stripping off the body fat, right? So, zip it, Vix. No negative self-talk, because how you talk is how you think, which is how you behave. So we're talking positively because we're behaving positively. Okay, so slightly different lighting. I still can't figure out where the best lighting in this posing room is, to be honest with you. I feel like over there, too exposed, and then here, I don't know. I need to cut my hair as well because it's covering my bottom. Ooh. Now let's do some bikini posing. Also, as I'm changing my heels, another top tip with posing practice, first of all, is pose in front of a mirror and then also pose without a mirror, because obviously on stage you won't have a mirror there. So you need to get used to how you look when you can't see how you look. The next thing to do is put on an Olympia live stream or like an Arnold live stream. Actually pose to what the judges say and how they call out obviously the different quarter turns, because this is what's going to allow you to practice your posing conditioning. A lot of people actually slack on that, and you can pose very well when obviously you're by yourself because you're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, quarter turn. But realistically, when they get you in those poses, they're gonna make you hold it for quite some time. If you can't hold that pose and you start breathing out with your midsection, you know, like that, and you start sweating or you start cramping, then you know your presentation is not going to be great. So that's another thing you need to practice. And then the next posing practice tip is think about, if you do have enough space to do this, by the way, think about placing your camera on like either side of the room, okay? And what I mean by that is, if you place your camera usually directly in front of you, obviously you're gonna be posing to the camera. However, on stage, when you're in a lineup, the judges are going to be here. If you get placed into the outer part of the lineup, you need to get used to the fact that you twist so that you face the judges and they can see your physique front on. Where a lot of people go wrong and on stage is where they get placed in that lineup on either side and they still pose towards the audience, which for the audience, that is great. For the judges, they see you side on, and this is what can expose your midsection, what can flatten off your glutes, etc. So if you do your posing practice, usually just make sure that you obviously place your camera front on, you get used to that, but you also place your camera to either side and see how you get on with that as well. And just think about like twisting your torso when you're transitioning, how you're gonna look, and that way you're literally like preparing yourself for all avenues. And then also, obviously, the last, I guess, posing tip is just set up your camera so it's at like hip height, because again, if you're posing in front of the mirror all the time, then you're gonna be posing like front on, but the judges are below you. So when you're doing something like a front pose, even though you shouldn't be like leaning over, you're not bowing to them, you still need to be thinking about leaning forwards, especially when it comes to things like figure posing. So yeah, 4 points there. Note them down, because it'll honestly make your experience going from posing practice to stage so much easier. Next up, we have got bikini posing, and if I'm being perfectly honest, this is the posing I don't feel very comfortable with. And as a result, I am really, really procrastinating on it. But the more I procrastinate, the less I know it, which also means the more stupid I'm gonna look on stage. So the difference with bikini and wellness is obviously wellness is lower body dominant. So I personally need to down pose my upper and up pose my lower. With bikini, you want a streamlined physique. You don't want anything overpowering, but also for myself, this is where I can showcase my upper a little bit more because I do have a strong upper. The only thing I just need to be very, very careful of is my quads are actually like a stronger part. So I don't want to make them too overpowering because they can be when I get into this front pose. So I just need to play around with that and see how it looks. I'll be very interested to see what you guys think of me cracking these bikini poses because I'm just still in two minds about it. I don't know if I just look out of proportion. Like I feel like I look at some bikini girls and I just look like, wow, like they just look so good. And then when I hit it, I just don't know if I look too blocky. Anyway, let's give it a go. My tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. The morning rain clouds up my window. I can't see it all. And even if I could, it'll all be great. Your picture on the wall, it reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad. See, I don't know how this back pose looks. Let me go pose over there. When you are walking, always think about those glutes being lifted. Do not allow those glutes to drop. If I start walking like this, it's not gonna be a great look, is it? Oh, watch me do that on stage. What you wanna be doing is from the moment you step up on stage, arch the lower back, belly button in, almost like look at the judges, big smile and be like, I am the shit. That's how we wanna be walking up on stage like you're fucking Beyonce, like you're Rihanna. Confidence girl. No, I can't do that. I can't shoot my quad. My tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. The morning rain clouds up my window. I can't see it all. And even if I could, it'll all be great. Your picture on the wall, it reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad. I'm gonna watch this back, constructively analyze it, send it over to Hannah, send it over to George, and just work harder. That's all that needs to happen. I can't expect myself to look good when I haven't put in the practice. It's just as simple as that. You cannot expect the results from the work that you didn't put in, and I haven't put in the work for my posing. So what am I expecting? Just gonna have a stern word with myself. You bitch, you fucking start posing right now. Oh guys, I'm losing it. So it's the next day. Last night, I get a ring on the doorbell at around 7:30, 8 p.m. and I look outside, no one's there. So I'm like, all right, okay, the kids are clearly playing ring. What's the game called? Knock Ginger. And I was just like, for God's sake, like I just want to get to bed. I was about to eat my meal. George messaged me early and he was like, do you want to FaceTime and have the last meal together? And I was like, yeah, sure, what time? So I was waiting. So obviously FaceTime George. And then he literally just pops out of nowhere and I'm so confused.
Yeah, he was standing there like a lemon.
Literally, he surprised me because tomorrow is actually our 4-year anniversary and I thought we were gonna spend it alone. I thought we would be spending it on FaceTime, but this little munchkin came to surprise me! So we've decided that we're gonna train legs together today. So I'm actually not gonna be following the plan. Who is she? Cheating on a prep? No, we're pretty much gonna follow the same thing anyway. She says. Except I'm going to do like 3 sets, 4 sets on absolutely everything and send it to failure and then be sore for like the next 2 weeks. We've basically been watching Sam Sulek and we were talking about kind of like what he does and how he trains and how it's so different to what we train. He like chases pump at the moment. So he's like, not at the moment, that's just how he trains. So he chases pump and he just like does partials, like 20 partials, and then he'll do like 4 sets, 5 sets on a given exercise just because he feels like, you know, he connects with it well. And I was just thinking and saying to George earlier, like, it doesn't matter like how you train, as long as you train hard and you do that for a sustained period of time. That's all that matters. I probably shouldn't be saying that right now or doing that right now as I am deep into prep, but I am going to be mindful, and George is obviously going to be looking over me that I won't do anything stupid. So we're going to be filming the session together today. I said I was going to film my leg session, didn't think it would be with Georgie boy. You look so much leaner. I'm going to try and do that. There you go.
Look at that.
I've not seen him for 2 weeks. We've not seen each other for 2 weeks.
No, we just hugged each other and was like, yeah, just...
I know.
Analysis.
We hugged each other. We were like, yeah, Lena. Yeah, Lena. And I was just like, okay, let's just hug and just be present and be boyfriend, girlfriend rather than coach. We've just pulled up at the gym in for legs. How are you feeling, George?
Sound as a fucking pound. Sound as a pound, if you didn't hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. George is currently 5 weeks out?
Potentially.
I've basically suggested to George that he does an early... Have you spoken about this?
No.
Okay.
You can say I don't give a fuck.
Okay, well, no one watches my channel anyway. I've suggested to George that he does a little bit of an earlier show. What do you mean?
Fucking, I checked your video, you had like nearly 1,000 views in the first 24 hours, so...
Which one?
Latest one.
Really?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Anyway, you heard it here first. I suggested to George that he does a little bit of an earlier show because he's been gone for 2 weeks, and the way that he's changed in 2 weeks is just absolutely crazy. Like, I was watching your stories, and every single day, like, your face was just getting leaner and leaner and leaner. And then you sent me a picture after you showered. Like,
it was naked.
It was a naked picture, so I can't put it in here for reference. And it wasn't even anything like that. He was just trying to be funny. Like, he was just literally like, because I asked him for postural shots and he just sent me that. I was like, sound okay. But as soon as I saw him, I was like, thinking to myself, you're going to be ready ahead of time. And then I went onto the PCA calendar and I was just like, hey George, what do you think about potentially, you know, the show on, when was it, the 2nd of May, which is the PCA Manchester. And then he thought I was talking about me. He was like, what, why, like, what are your thoughts surrounding that? And I just like wrote a list of all the reasons why I think he should compete. And the reason mainly is because George is only planning to do the PCA Universe, because after that he's got a client competing, so he won't be really able to compete any weekend.
No.
Unless you do a natural show, which he's doing,
Yeah,
which
I'll
you can't do.
Kiwi against my client Jason.
Imagine that.
Novice show as well. First timers.
Novice, first timers, natural. Yeah, he would only have like a weekend to compete, and if he does the PCA qualifier and then the PCA Universe, basically he's just going to be competing against the same people, because everyone that does the one show is basically trying to qualify for the second one. So I was like, why not do an earlier one, because you are going to be ready, and then that way you can do, you know, a show with a different lineup, different judging panel, and it also gives you time to like get some feedback and make improvements, so you can actually make the most out of the season. Because I don't think there's anything worse than like prepping for a show for 20 weeks and then just doing like one weekend and then being out.
Yeah, I think also for me it's a case of if I don't do very well on the Saturday and then I go do the Sunday and compete against the same people, I just don't want to be there. My face will tear it fucking all. I just don't want to be there. I'm shit when it comes to those sort of things. I should humble myself, but it's like, well, if I'm getting dicked on, like, why am I going to stand there and enjoy it? You know, it's just not how I do things. I'm in it to win it, and if I know I'm not going to win it, then I'm just fucking, what's the point? Bit of a shit mentality, but at the same time, like, just is what it is.
So my question is, what if you don't do as well as you want in the Manchester one? Are you still going to do the Universe?
Better start fucking ramping things up then, innit I?
Yeah.
Tren, Deca, fucking everything. Every peptide under the fucking sun.
All right. I'm going to get demonetised now because of George.
Don't do that, Steve. I'm joking.
No, he's only joking.
I'm not joking. I am joking.
Yeah. That's not what we stand for. Right, we're going to go to the gym because otherwise we're going to sit here for another 10 minutes and waffle. What are we doing today, George?
Well, just take exercise by exercise, to be honest with you. So I'm doing it.
Okay.
I do whatever I fancy. I'm doing the Sam Sulek style.
Sam Sulek style. So I've only got one mic, but I'll share it between us. And I think it's just going to be raw and edited footage, really.
Yeah.
Should we do that?
Yeah, just a bit of fucking come on, you can't. That's how we do it. Sorry, I shouldn't have said the C word on your channel.
Oh, well, we're not getting copyrighted anyway. No, I can't get demonetised if I don't earn money anyway. So, as always, we start off our sessions with prep and mobility work. So, at the moment, I'm doing, first of all, just like a tiny bit of stretching just to get my joints a little bit warm. Actually, I do incline walk, and then I do a little bit of stretching, and then I go into like single leg hamstring bridge, hook lying bridge, and I do some B stance RDLs, very lightweight, just to start engaging the glutes. We started off on the adductor today. I'm actually representing my dad, David Kowalski, and I'm then underneath representing Born Coaching. Let me show you, because I'm actually too hot anyway. Did you know that I'm a coach, George?
Coach, athlete.
coach, athlete. We've actually got some of these in a sand color, and they've got ball, coaching, athlete on there. So if you want some, DM us. We've got size mediums. Yeah, we've got a few. Maybe we'll get some more ordered. I can actually stack the adductor machine now, which is amazing because my strength has actually gone up in my prep, which is a win in itself because I'm literally like 10 kilos lighter than when I started, but I'm stronger, which is quite nice to experience. That saying, I am regressing on a few exercises as of this week, but I think it's because sleep has been shit.
You gonna gym pin it today, Vicky?
I did 138 for 10 last time, so I've still got...
Okay, still got 5 kilos.
Still got 5 kilos.
Gym pin end of prep.
Humbling me. If you are short and you can't fit into machines, understand that you can actually implement strategies to make the machine more favorable for you. For example, on the hammer strength adduction, if I sit back on the seat, I just don't get enough range of motion. So I've started using these yoga blocks to push my hips forward a little bit more. And that way I can stretch my hips so that I get the full range of motion ultimately. I've realized as well, I've stopped faffing about with too many warm-up sets. I just get into it.
This exercise I'll do some warm-up sets because I feel like you're getting to injure yourself in this.
Yeah, no, I'll do warm-up sets, but I won't like faff about with it because before I remember I used to like spend ages. I used to do like 5, 6, 7 warm-up sets and then I'd get in my head about it. Yep, thank you. I'm gonna go heavier. Yep, good. And again. Yes, yours. Come on. And again. Yes, good. Stay on it. Stay on it. Nice. Come on. All right, if I don't get a new low from the extra expenditure spotting you today.
Thank you. That's too easy. I feel like sitting forward is quite easy.
All right. Apparently doing it with blocks is too easy. So now I'm going to do it without blocks and stack it and put 50 on it. 3, 2, 1. Yep.
Good. Go, 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 go. Back into the entry. Go.
Again.
Yep. Big one, and I'll spot you in the short bit. Yeah.
I didn't know what you're doing then. Thanks. So does that mean I'm training to failure then? That was past failure.
You've been doing it already. You've been doing that.
Yeah, but just asking if I have permission.
Just asking for permission.
Usually George tells me off. He watches my my footage back on Instagram if I post it on my story. And he's like, you're meant to be training 1 RIR. And I'm like, yeah, 1 really intense rep. One elite bit of gym equipment that you can get is a seat belt. This is absolutely incredible, especially if you are a strong lifter, just because for things like leg extensions or hamstring curls, your grip strength, like your pelvic stability is going to go before your actual muscles, so like your quads or your hamstrings. So when we're doing the seated hamstring curl, which George is just warming up on, if I can get my words out, warming up on behind me, what we do is obviously wrap this around our belly and wrap it around the seat and lock ourselves in, and that prevents his lower back from coming on and off. And realistically, when you're doing a seated hamstring curl, you want to keep that pelvis locked and that spine neutral, because the moment you start extending the spine, you're going to be recruiting the lower back, and this is where people get a lower back pump rather than actually thinking about the hamstrings driving the knees, driving the heels towards the bum. Can't get my words out today.
Did it well.
I'm getting pissed off. Usually at this point, if I stumbled on my words so many times, I would have just fucked off recording and been like, I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it, I just want to train. But I'm actually sticking through with it. That is progress, that is growth. Another bit of kit for the seated hamstring curl is a foam roller. You can place this here and push against it, which allows you to lock the upper back in. So if you're a short ass like me, this is gonna be amazing because the handles are a little bit too far away for me to brace effectively. So I literally push down on my quads. This allows me to lock in fully and then literally think about heels scooped under the bum. Also, a common mistake that I see people make is when they do the hamstring curl, they literally place their feet like out here. You want to keep the ankles in line with the knee joint and the hip joint. Keep your feet narrower. You do this. You fucking spread your legs like a right sluzzer.
Still good hamstring exercise.
I think I'll be okay. My legs are so small now, I don't need to push them down. Wee. Sad times.
Strong. Yeah. Still you, still you. Yep. Go back into it. Go. And drive. Big drive. Big drive. Still you. Still you. Still you. Finish it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Oh. Thanks.
Strong.
Oh.
Good set. Good mother.
Oh my god, my legs. Look at my legs.
If only if I did that to you. Right. In the gym way.
In the gym way.
Right, recording this time. Yes.
What did you do last time?
110. 12? Something like that. Nah, I must admit I am moving a bit of weight. Like, I'm not like feeling it, but I'm having fun. So I think it's a little bit ambitious if I do a little bit more, to be honest. Because my hamstring fatigue is massive, so I drop off. Shut up.
Every 4 days, my hamstring fatigue is massive.
Could you pass me phone roller? 3, 2, 1. Yep.
Yep, let's go, come on. I'm not down on the vacuum. Do it properly. Yes, good, and again. That's it. Yes. And again. Come on. Big legs. That's it. I'm useless at squatting, you know.
What?
Because when I push it down, I put all my body weight through and it just doesn't move. Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
What exercise do you want to do? You on sign?
Single leg press.
Nah. Single leg press. Which one?
You've asked me to decide.
Okay.
All right, so what do you want to do then?
I'll probably go for the hip press myself, but
Don't ask me next time. One day back together.
happy 4-year anniversary. That's what it gets like, guys.
So the next exercise that we finally agreed on after a slight domestic is the hammer strength single leg press. Guys have seen us do this bilaterally quite a lot because we used to do it at old school gyms, and I used to do it here actually, but I find single leg is so much better for me to actually bias my glute, because this one I'm doing glute bias, George is doing quad bias. So the difference between glute and quad bias is where you ultimately place your feet to a certain extent, but also what type of leg press that you do. If you obviously do like a 45-degree angle compared to more of a pendulum one, you're gonna feel it slightly differently. This one specifically, I find very, very good for glutes. So I'm placing my foot stance a little bit higher. That's not to say I'm gonna be bearing weight on my heel. I'm still gonna be thinking about pressing throughout the entirety of the foot, thinking about like the foot triad. So big toe, little toe, heel, and all of that is pressing directly into the platform. The other thing that I do is I think about almost pressing through the arch of my foot. This will also help with glute engagement. And the last thing that I just told George to do is when you're doing single leg work on a leg press, you want to hold the opposite hand between your legs and pull yourself into the seat. So don't do it this way. Obviously, your hand of the working leg catches the handle. The opposite hand catches the middle of the seat, and then this way you're internally rotating your femur, which is going to allow your hip to flex and extend. If you're externally rotating, you're defeating the objective of the glute. So think about pulling yourself inwards and then knee to nipple line and then straight back out. Try not to diverge the knee because then again you're going into external rotation.
Finish it again. Into it again. Yep, that's the one. That's you. That's you, come on.
Oh.
Push it.
I'm fucking seeing stars. Yep. Good. Good.
Not bad. A little shot. Tiny little shot. Just a little wink.
So we were just actually talking about how like George doesn't like doing single leg stuff because his lower back takes over. I don't know if they can even see me, but his lower back takes over and he gets like a lower back pump, doesn't connect very well, and so he just basically ignores those exercises because you just want to get into your session and you want it to be good. So as a result, you sort of neglect them. But the goal is not to neglect those exercises, to figure out why the hell that is going on and actually address it, which does ultimately mean a few sessions may be slightly shit, but then everything clicks and it'll translate to every single other lift.
Exactly that.
Do you want to say anything on that?
No, just listen to Vicky. She's the reins of the relationship. I'm the reckless one.
Well, role reversal when it comes to me though. Fucking hell. That is actually crazy. Look at your veins. Do side leg. That is men's wellness. Do a little wellness pose. We did a little back shot one. That is actually crazy.
Well, how are they doing it? How are they doing it when she did that little walk through? You know, she was like this.
Oh yeah, well, there's it's the one where they go and she looks over. Try it.
How do you do it?
So, yeah, there we go. That is actually really good. I'm jealous. Right, attempt number 2.
Yeah, let's go. Get it moving.
I'm recording now. Oh, next up is the leg extension. Oh, please don't do anything stupid. I bought George a new phone for his birthday, and he bought like a case, a magnetic case, and I'm just like, don't break it, you've had it for 2 days. Anyway, what was I saying? Leg extension. What I do on the leg extensions, I place a mat between my shins and the pad so I can basically point my toes upwards. As you can see, again, I am a small human being, so even if I set this on like the smallest setting and bring the pad up, it's not far enough up on my shins for my toes to actually be pointing upwards. So George is gonna get a mat, and then we're gonna use our magical seatbelt again to pull us into the seat. I am quite strong on the leg extensions if I do so myself, and that also means that my grip strength just isn't going to hold me down. So seatbelt on, wrist straps on, and then we're gonna get the mat as well. I usually do 1 set on here, so it's all right, I'll do a warm up without it and then I'll put it in. Again, another thing is place your feet closer together. You do not need to open your legs like a naughty girl.
Yeah, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Drive it. Yep.
Ah! One with me, be there.
I'm there, don't worry. I'm there, let's go. Big drive now. Yep. Oh yeah, yeah. And hold.
You bitch. Oh, you bitch. And hold. And fuck off. No, thank you for that. And again. Yep. And again. Drop it.
I can't even do that. What the fuck?
Drop it. Come on. Yes, good. Come on. Yeah, 3rd place. 2nd place. 1st place. Overall. Pro card. Arnold. Olympia.
Oh, my endurance like that is fucking shocking.
No, it's hard. It is hard.
That is bad. I should be able to do better than that.
No, it's fine.
Okay, here we go. Fuck.
Okay, so we are going on to, there we go, it's tracking my face now. We're going on to the last exercise, for which George and I are actually splitting up. He's gone on to calf raises and I'm going on to the abductor because I need bigger glutes and he most definitely doesn't. This abductor is absolutely amazing. I love it. It's the glute builder one. At the moment, the variation that Kyle's got me doing is the one where I'm leaning forwards. I did notice that when I loaded weight on this, I moved my pelvis a little bit too much. So I'm being very cautious with the weight that I use and I just really slow it down and think about belly button in, which obviously I'm not doing right now because I'm talking to you guys, but belly button in, keeping the pelvis locked and pushing out through the knees against the pad rather than my feet. And training to failure, as always. Also completely unrelated to training, but I'm literally just standing in the gym talking, right? And as I was walking, and I was walking over to the abduction exercise, and I was talking about like what exercise I'm doing next, everyone was actually looking at me, and I just didn't care. I just didn't care. And I'm noticing the more I'm recording for YouTube, the more comfortable I'm getting with just like being myself and talking to the camera, and it makes me feel so, one, proud of myself, but also so happy that I'm finally at the point where I can be authentically myself and just not embarrassed, and I realized that embarrassment is literally a state of mind. Like, you choose whether you're embarrassed or not. Yes, it's a feeling, but also it's only embarrassing if you think it's embarrassing. So I told myself, like, when you go into the gym today and record, obviously I've got George as my little bit of a safety blanket because it kind of looks like I'm talking to him, but now I'm by myself, I'm like, I actually don't care, and it's nice because it means also I'll be able to put more content out there, and when I put more content out there I get more confident. So moral of the story is, first of all, no one gives a fuck about you as much as you give a fuck about you. Everyone's too busy focusing on themselves, being, you know, fixated on their own training, possibly on their own insecurities. And then the second thing is, the more you step outside of your comfort zone, the more comfortable that discomfort zone, oh, not making any sense, more comfortable that is going to become, right? So the more I'm putting myself out there with social media, with content, more comfortable I'm getting with it. So I'm like leveling up in a way, but it won't happen if you constantly avoid it. If you constantly say, oh no, I'll do it tomorrow. Just do it, feel scared, feel petrified, feel the fear, and do it anyway. And believe me, like, it feels so freeing. Anyway, into the set. Oh, this is not pretty. It looks like I'm taking a shit. Oh, God. Go to the gym, they said. You'll look cute, they said. No, I look like I'm pooping myself. Well, guys, I'm going to leave the video there because I'm literally just editing it at the moment, and it's turned into a whole documentary, 58 minutes long. You're welcome for anyone who's doing a long cardio session right now. But it's honestly been such a wholesome week with George surprising us and just coming, and I don't know, it just makes you really appreciate people around you. I've definitely had... I'm definitely a person that just like loves thoughtfulness, and that was really, really thoughtful of him to plan all of that and surprise me and come up with like a reason as to why he won't be replying for a couple of hours when he was traveling. It was just really, really cute. So I feel very grateful, and I feel very lucky at the moment to be surrounded by so much love. Yeah, it's been a good week. It's been a good week. As of today, I'm 6.5 weeks out, and I'm starting the new vlog for you guys to keep them coming every single week. So to everyone that's watched it this far, comment Mangi, M-A-N-G-I, Mangi. And as always, guys, make sure you like, you share, you tag us on your story. There we go, create a thumbnail, take a picture. That was really cute. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one.